I am not self-destructive. I'm not a person who wants to die. I'm a person who has life.
Thing you know, she's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the dealer in, but she was sober, right? But
I've been through a lot in these past 2 weeks. I'm able to look at life in a whole different way.
First heard she passed away, I said, my God, somebody gave her a bad bag. I promise you, that was the first thing that came out of my mouth. And then I saw Ray J, and it all added up.
Jaguar Wright just came through again with some major tea on what really happened to Whitney the night she died. And according to her, Whitney was actually M. Not only that, but she explicitly dropped Ray J's name and accused him of pushing a load of substances down Whitney's throat until she choked on it and dropped dead. Jaguar alleges that Whitney's death had absolutely nothing to do with a heart attack like her autopsy report suggests, and that she actually had several injuries on her body when she was found.
they saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was beat up.
But that's not all, because according to Jaguar, Ray J was working hand-in-hand with Clive Davis and Diddy to delete Whitney as a form of alleged ritualistic sacrifice to move up in the ranks of Hollywood.
I know that you were the first, one of the first ones at Clive's party to speak about Whitney's passing the other day.
Yes.
And that was, did you know her well?
Yes, I did.
When it comes to Ray J and Diddy, they've actually been friends for quite some time, and it's not hard to find several videos and photos of them together online. Ray J is a regular attendee of Diddy's freak-off parties, and he's hinted at Diddy being his role model on several occasions.
Hey yo, this guy right here, one of the hip-hop entrepreneur young legends. He's in my gang. He gets money. Yes, he does.
Yes, I'm inspired though. God is good.
Ray J shared his take on why celebs are keeping mum about Diddy's legal troubles. In a video posted by TMZ on YouTube, Ray J chatted with a cameraman about Diddy's ongoing legal battles. When asked why some of Diddy's closest pals haven't spoken up, Ray J gave a pretty reasonable explanation. He wasn't surprised by the silence, suggesting that celebs are just trying to wrap their heads around the serious allegations and waiting to see how it all pans out.
Still a big question mark. Pray for everybody, though. Prayers go up for everybody.
And this is what apparently may have bothered Bossy to claim that he might be Diddy's accomplice. Well, this is not the only incident that led him to the conclusion. Another surprising event that took place in Beverly Hills also concluded the same thing. Ray J's wild night back in May 2014 turned into a total nightmare for him. According to TMZ, the Los Angeles district attorney hit the singer with a whopping 10 charges following a drunken and reckless episode at the Beverly Hills Hotel. It all went down last spring when Ray J got the boot from the swanky hotel's bar due to his drunken antics. Clearly ticked off, he didn't take it well and things quickly spiraled out of control. He ended up getting arrested after allegedly spitting on a cop and kicking out a window of the police car. Talk about a bad situation getting worse. Now, Ray J faced a laundry list of charges: 4 counts of resisting arrest, 3 counts of A and battery, and 2 counts of vandalism. And to top it off, they threw in a charge of S battery for allegedly brushing against a female patron's rear end during the chaos. The cops think this one's a stretch since it wasn't intentional, but the DA slapped him with it anyway. Tough break. People have suggested that the party was most probably Diddy's, and his recent lawsuit suggests the same thing. In November, Cassie Ventura dropped a bombshell lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs in a New York federal court. The lawsuit paints a disturbing picture, alleging and some truly shocking claims, like Combs supposedly forcing her into intimate acts with male S-workers while he watched. It's heavy stuff to say the least.
She alleges that, Diddy, he'll make her look online for BBCs for their freak-off sessions. And she say that, in this lawsuit that, Diddy, he enjoyed.
But this isn't the first time Diddy's been in hot water. Despite his attempt to rebrand as Brother Love and even legally changing his middle name to Love, his past is riddled with allegations of violence, dating all the way back to the 90s. While he's never been convicted of a serious crime, accusations have followed him like a shadow. From former partners like Ventura and Gina Huyn, who accused him of A in 2019, to run-ins with industry folks like executive Steve Stout, and even clashes with rappers like J. Cole and Drake, Diddy's reputation isn't squeaky clean, to say the least. Combs' lawyer Ben Brafman didn't mince words when responding to the allegations. According to the New York Times, he stated that Mr. Combs vehemently denies these offensive and outrageous allegations. Brafman went on to explain that for the past 6 months, Cassie Ventura had been pressuring Combs for $30 million, threatening to write a damaging book about their relationship if he didn't comply. But there is more to it. In a tragic turn of events, incidents, Combs was involved in a celebrity basketball game and concert at City College of New York that ended in disaster. Despite the gym having a capacity of 2,730 people, an overwhelming crowd of up to 5,000 showed up, far exceeding the venue's limits. With insufficient security to manage the chaos, organizers made the tough call to close the doors, triggering panic among those outside. The situation spiraled into a stampede as people rushed the lobby after breaking the gym's doors. The fallout was severe. Then New York City Mayor David Dinkins' administration published a scathing 67-page report titled "A Failure of Responsibility," placing blame on Combs for hiring inadequate and inexperienced security. Combs faced a barrage of lawsuits from the families of those who lost their lives in the tragedy, ultimately settling the last lawsuit in 2000. It was a grim chapter in Combs' career, marked by loss and legal battles. This followed the news that Diddy had an affair with Usher when he was still in his teens. Diddy and Usher shared a bed when Usher was 15 and Diddy was in his late 20s. Despite Diddy's best efforts to make it sound normal, there isn't a single scenario in which it makes sense for an adult Diddy to share a bed with an adolescent Usher.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause.
Usher also admitted that he and Diddy went to SO when Usher was 15 years old, which is what we all know is against the law in the United States and in many other countries as well. Diddy even pushed and booze on Usher while he was just a teenager. Usher emphatically denied that he would never send his children to a school like Diddy's.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
And what is even more heart-wrenching here is that Usher's parents were totally unaware of what their child was going through.
Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, they didn't know nothing about this.
But even apart from that, Diddy has been the subject of a few weird news stories. Most of these people are connected to the industry in some way. For example, a friend of Jaguar's who worked with Diddy at the time witnessed him having relations with Christopher Williams and leaked the footage in a bombshell tape. Well, he played the same dirty game with Jamie Foxx too. According to sources, he was trapped by Diddy to host a basketball game at his house, and then Diddy lured the attendees to the party to do some shady activities. And this incident would have never come to light if it were not for Jamie's neighbors. Yes, it was Jamie's neighbors who disclosed this filthy incident. Jamie received a visit from the police after his neighbors called to complain about a rowdy game of basketball being played on Fox's land. There was no issue with the noise of the game or the fact that a basketball had accidentally landed in their backyard. It's the fact that all the ballers were N during the game. It's hard to even fathom how awful it would be. Essence interviewed one of his neighbors. Essence asked, "Are you sure?" Then the neighbor replied, "N basketball. I'm telling you the man's crazy." A&R reports have suggested that Ray J was also part of all these parties. Not only this, reports suggest that Ray has also worked with Clive Davis in his parties, and with Clive, Ray was also in the last moments of Whitney death. We all know Diddy's a heavyweight in the music biz, founding the iconic Bad Boy Records and managing big names like the late notorious Big and R&B sensation Usher. But how did he build such an impressive empire? Well, the rumor mill has been buzzing for years about Diddy and Clive Davis being more than just industry colleagues, and it looks like the truth is finally out. Sources spill the tea, claiming the two have been an item for a solid 5 years, and they weren't exactly discreet about it. From epic parties to hush-hush meetups, it seems these two have been living their best lives. But hold up, Diddy's claiming he's been a victim too, allegedly an intimate slave to Clive Davis, if you catch the drift. Diddy's journey intersected with Clive's when he was a 23-year-old aspiring artist aiming to make his mark in the competitive music industry. His innovative hip-hop concepts managed to captivate the renowned Clive, who was on the lookout for an artist capable of forging a genuine connection with the audience. Recalling their first meeting, Clive has shared that he discovered exactly what he was in search of within Diddy. Puffy was 23 years old and I knew the artist that I had. Aretha, Dion, Whitney was one kind of music, Davis says. LaFace ushered in blue-collared R&B at its height. But sensing the hip-hop revolution, both LA and I agreed that we could use someone really attuned to the street. You gotta know what you can do for yourself, and you gotta know when you need to look to other people. During that time frame, Diddy was working under Andre Harali at Uptown Records. However, encountering Clive Davis marked a turning point in his career, as his impactful words left a lasting impression on the music mogul, a moment that Clive himself vividly recalls. When I met with Puffy, he articulated that hip-hop should be part of the top 40 mainstream and that the business would change in the future, he continues. And I said, "What have you got to illustrate that point?" And he played me Craig Max Flava in your ear, and he played me the then unknown artist that he felt and believed so strongly. He played me 4 4 or 5 cuts from Notorious Big. Diddy's words held such compelling force that they persuaded Clive, who quickly conveyed his approval, acknowledging that Diddy had effectively communicated his vision. Evident from their actions and numerous reports, the gender orientation of both figures were quite questionable and ultimately sparked the rumor that Clive has been controlling and manipulating Diddy.
Decided to get on your knees and beg the demon for some bread, and all he gave you was crumbs. That's all he ever really gives anybody. Whatever millions Puff has put into somebody's pocket.
On one side of the spectrum, many view Clive Davis as a revered and accomplished producer, renowned for nurturing a diverse range of artists and crafting musical hits that have left an indelible mark on the industry. His legacy and practices have solidified his reputation as a key figure in shaping the music landscape.
Consistent with what you're writing about, you could go from one side of the stage to the other.
However, in the shadows, there exists a contrasting perception. Some voices suggest a different narrative, portraying Davis as a man with a more complex and controversial persona. These critics label him as one of the first gatekeepers of the industry, allegedly exerting influence through manipulation and a calculated demeanor. Such claims paint a picture of a cold-blooded operator who wields power behind the scenes, orchestrating moves that go beyond the public eye.
He needed her back, but he needed her back and under his control.
In the intricate tapestry of the music world, Clive Davis stands as both a celebrated legend and a figure shrouded in speculative whispers, embodying the duality that often characterizes the entertainment realm. It was mainly due to the fact that he allegedly mentored Diddy.
Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor, who loved to control people.
Diddy is a name that resonates deeply in the music world, celebrated as a prolific record producer and influential label owner.
My career reminded them of King, how I came out hard and strong at the time, which is all good, but I'm just trying to stay above water.
Yet, behind this illustrious facade lies a curious inquiry into the rapid ascent of his company. Jaguar Wright, a notable musician, delves into the enigmatic sway Diddy holds over the music landscape and the substantial riches that have come his way.
Puff be moving is around, but he got that catalog. Making money off of it, and it bought that big old mansion down the street.
What propelled a 23-year-old emerging star to the zenith of the music industry in an astonishingly brief span? The key might rest in his intimate connection with a prominent music figure, Clive Davis. While Clive has garnered acclaim for his musical productions, he now finds himself at the center of conversations surrounding his romantic endeavors. Following 2 marriages and subsequent divorces, Clive embarked on a voyage of self-discovery, exploring the possibility of being attracted to men as well.
That I opened myself up after the failure of my second marriage, having read something about bisexuality.
Through this period of self-reflection, Clive reached the revelation that his SO was not exclusively HS, a stark departure from his convictions during the initial 5 decades of his life.
Opened myself up to the possibility of a relationship based on the person and not on gender.
Besides S Ventures, Clive Davis and Diddy were also rumored to be involved in Whitney Houston's D. It all started when in 2006, Whitney Houston filed for divorce from Bobby Brown, as reported by MTV News. Their marriage had been marred by controversy, DA, physical violence, and allegations of infidelity. It marked the conclusion of a tumultuous journey. Houston would be granted full custody of their daughter when the divorce was finalized the following year, and they went their separate ways. In a tell-all interview with Oprah in 2009, Houston accused Brown of being jealous and of subjecting her to both physical and emotional A.
Talk was I was with her because I needed something from her. All I needed was her to love her.
Following the divorce, Houston made efforts to clean up her public image. Brown, on the other hand, remarried and had 3 more children with his manager, Alicia Etheridge. According to The Star, they tied the knot in 2012, just a few months after Houston tragically passed away in a hotel bathtub at the age of 48. Despite the drama that marked their relationship, it's noted that the love between them endured. Brown reportedly shed tears during a performance upon learning of Houston's death, as reported by The Hollywood Reporter.
If I could get those 2 days back. My daughter would be here.
However, it was proved that it was not her husband who ruined her, but some other people were involved in her downfall. At this point, we all know that Bobby Brown has long been held responsible for Whitney Houston's C addiction. But according to Robin Crawford, the singer of Greatest Love of All displayed signs of problematic D use before meeting him. In an NBC interview promoting her book, A Song for You, My Life with Whitney Houston, Houston's best friend, who also claims to have been her lover, discussed the Grammy winner's history of D use. Houston passed away in 2012, with C use cited as a contributing factor in the coroner's report. D paraphernalia, including a small spoon with a white crystal-like substance in it and a rolled-up piece of white paper, was discovered at the scene. Asked by Craig Melvin when she realized Houston had a problem, Crawford replied, "I would remind Whitney that, now you know we said doing coke couldn't go where we're going and we're already there, so we shouldn't be doing it. However, I'd noticed that she would go ahead and do it." Crawford continued, "She was having difficulty stopping." Crawford and Houston first crossed paths as teenagers at a 1980 summer camp, where their relationship turned intimate, as revealed in Crawford's book. However, Houston reportedly ended their romantic involvement in 1983, citing concerns about how a same-sex relationship might impact her burgeoning career after signing with Arista. Despite this shift, they remained steadfast friends, with Crawford taking on roles as Houston's personal assistant, roommate, and notably maid of honor when the singer married Bobby Brown of New Edition fame in 1992. Contrary to the public perception that Brown introduced Houston to D, Crawford's book, as highlighted by Melvin, clarifies that Houston had engaged in D use before Brown entered the picture. Crawford acknowledged this, stating that while Houston wasn't a consistent D user, there were occasions when she would partake, occasionally overindulging.
I didn't get into really heavy until I met Whitney, but it destroys people.
In response to the persistent blame placed on Brown for Houston's substance A issues, Crawford emphatically stated that Brown did not introduce Houston to C. She refuted the notion that he brought her down. Regarding this, many reports suggest that Diddy and Clive Davis have some connection with her death. The speculations got further confirmed when Clive himself admitted that he was the only one who was with her in her last moments. Clive Davis holds immense power within the music industry, standing out as one of its most influential figures. His track record speaks volumes, particularly when he launched Arista Records, where he successfully signed a multitude of major black acts. The list of artists he brought on board is impressive, including Patti Smith, The Outlaws, Eric Carmen, Exposé, Ace of Base, Air Supply, Dionne Warwick, Ray Parker and Radio, Aretha Franklin, and Alicia Keys. Davis played a pivotal role in giving Puffy his initial opportunity to establish Bad Boy Records, but his greatest success came when he discovered Whitney Houston.
By spending time with her when the picture was inescapable. There were two times, one live, where she came to my home, where we had a personal...
Astounded by Houston's extraordinary singing talent and her image as an all-American sweetheart, Clive seized the chance to propel her into mega-stardom. This move not only greatly benefited Whitney, but also significantly boosted Clive Davis's net worth, reportedly reaching close to $800 million. However, as Whitney Houston navigated the complexities of the music industry, she, like many others, began to observe peculiar and unsettling occurrences. In her 2002 interview with Diane Sawyer, she candidly addressed the challenges she faced and the demons she battled, shedding light on the darker aspects of the industry. Whitney at times looked uneasy, uncomfortable, and at many times cautious within every word she spoke, and even spoke that she herself was possessed with an inner devil whom was controlling her.
It was rough. I think I kind of reverted back as I got older and said, well, I'm just gonna party, you know? It was kind of a rebel in me.
She brought up her dispute with Clive Davis and a potential conspiracy to harm her in the course of that interview. In divulging numerous industry secrets, she unwittingly made herself a target. Exploiting her vulnerabilities and past struggles with addiction, they aimed to undermine her credibility and ensure that the public didn't take her revelations seriously. The unexpected and shocking news of her demise occurred at a time when no one anticipated such a tragedy, especially given the circumstances surrounding it. It was a sorrowful twist of fate that profoundly impacted the music world. Tragically, the entertainment industry has witnessed numerous instances where artists, immersed in the demanding nature of their work, succumb to the scourge of DA. Whitney Houston was no exception. Her ongoing battle with DA and smoking, coupled with deteriorating health, cast a shadow over her entire career until it reached an irreversible tipping point.
It's my deciding. It's my heart. It's what I want and what I don't want. Nobody makes me do anything I don't want to do.
The unfortunate turn of events occurred on February 11th, 2012, the day before the scheduled Grammy Awards. On that day, the music industry luminaries gathered in Los Angeles for the Grammys, and Whitney Houston, accompanied by her family and friends, checked into the Beverly Hilton Hotel. A tradition preceding the Grammys was Clive Davis, Houston's mentor, hosting a pre-Grammy party where not only Diddy was present, but Ray also may have attended the party. During the investigation, the police discovered an open champagne bottle and a spoon containing a white crystal-like substance in close proximity to Whitney Houston. Additionally, a variety of medications, including an antidepressant, a muscle relaxant, and allergy medication, were found in her system during the autopsy. The coroner's report, released several weeks later, attributed Houston's death to heart disease, the use of C, and accidental drowning. It was also revealed that Houston had a mild case of emphysema, a condition affecting the lungs and causing shortness of breath, contributing to the gradual loss of her captivating and powerful voice. Numerous speculations about Houston's personal life emerged, explored in films, documentaries, and biopics released both before and after her death. However, amidst all the scrutiny, what remained unwavering was Houston's musical prowess and her soulful, mesmerizing voice. Many people believe that Diddy is the one who put her on D, and given Diddy's history, it is no secret how he has behaved with his former girlfriends. Recently, a lawsuit was filed against Sean Diddy Combs in New York Supreme Court on Thursday. The plaintiff, a woman, alleges that the rapper D&R her in 1991 when she was a college student. The lawsuit claims that she reluctantly agreed to have dinner with Combs at a restaurant in Harlem, after which he insisted she accompany him and allegedly D her to the point where she couldn't stand or walk without assistance. The suit further alleges that Combs filmed the A and distributed the video without her consent throughout New York State. These lawsuits against Combs coincide with the approaching Friday deadline for the Adult Survivors Act in New York. This law temporarily lifts the statute of limitations for SA claims. Notably, various figures in the music industry and Hollywood, including Axl Rose, Jamie Foxx, Cuba Gooding Jr., Neil Portnow, Louisiana, Reed, and Steven Tyler have been accused in court filings as part of this legal wave prompted by the temporary suspension of limitations. In a lawsuit that initiated the recent legal challenges for Combs,
Diddy is named in the federal suit, was filed on Thursday in New York. Claims that he broke into her home.
Singer Cassie accused him of a range of offenses, including RSAST physical A, and providing her with D and A throughout their long-term romantic relationship. The lawsuit resulted in a settlement between Cassie and Combs the following day. Cassie initiated a federal lawsuit against Diddy, alleging a decade-long sequence of misconduct and mistreatment by the hip-hop figure that started when she was 19 years old. The former R&B artist, who had been under contract with Diddy's Bad Boy Records, leveled various accusations, including SGH, S-Battery, SA, and gender-based violence. The legal action asserted that Diddy's domineering conduct commenced in 2005, coinciding with Cassie's initial encounter with him.
Or on her. Through their time together, Cassie claims that Diddy would regularly push make her carry around in her purse while out in public.
Upon joining Diddy's record label in 2006, Cassie asserted that Diddy wielded complete authority over every facet of her life, including her residence, vehicle, attire, and even her medical records, all in an attempt to assert dominance. The legal action further contended that Diddy targeted rapper Kid Cudi, who briefly dated Cassie in 2011 during a tumultuous period in her relationship with Diddy. The aftermath of Cassie's lawsuit drew attention to a 2019 interview featuring Virginia Fee, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, where she provided detailed accounts of alleged instances of physical A. Speaking with internet personality Tasha K, Virginia V accused Diddy of stomping on her stomach, punching her, and attempting to pay her to terminate their child. She recounted an incident where Diddy allegedly stomped on her stomach with such force that it left her breathless, making it challenging for her to breathe. Virginia Fee claimed she pleaded with him to cease the A. Additionally, she asserted that those in Diddy's circle allowed the A to occur and underscored the mental, emotional, and physical A she purportedly endured.
He was like, "You not happy to see me?
Oh.
You at Diddy's house. That mean you made it."
The cockiness.
Yeah.
Okay, Diddy.
No doubt Whitney was a well-observed artist of her time, but when she was found intoxicated in a hotel room, and she was also alleged, I involved in distributing D in the hotels. Her career started a downfall. It is believed that she did deal with Diddy. And as Diddy and Clive are related, her fans suggest that they both are allegedly involved in her tragic demise. One of them wrote, "It really hurts my heart that Whitney Houston was literally fighting people to save her life. How scarred she must have been. The betrayal?" Another one added, "Clive Davis should have canceled and rescheduled that party, period. He was so disrespectful towards Whitney's death. M. I didn't realize what a big pervert Clive is. How disgusting of P. Diddy to do what he did to Clive." So this is how apparently Clive and Diddy are keeping up with each other. And as Ray J also shares a very deep and positive connection with both of them and always backs them up. People are speculating he may have helped propel the mission of Whitney's alleged murder and may also have profited from it. That's it for today. See you in the next video.